And welcome to Arts Talk. I'm Bill Roberts, and I'd like to welcome our viewers, to the Santa Maria here in West Edmonton Mall. We shot here 6 years ago for our Christmas show, and here we are back on the Santa Maria, and I have a guest co-host with me, Terri Thompson. How are you, Terri?
I'm doing well, Bill. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Of course, for those of you who have watched our past couple of shows, we do a Baking with Terri segment.
Yep.
So now I've brought you into my kitchen.
Ooh, and I can feel the heat. That's fair.
Because when we're in Terry's kitchen shooting those segments, some of the behind-the-scenes things that you probably don't always see
And
is
shouldn't.
the fact that maybe I don't roll the dough out, thin enough, and Terri gets a little nervous about that because she's very particular, which is great about how she does her baking. So, she's here, give me the rolling pin, and she gets in there and rolls.
That's right. I think we started calling me Twitchy Terri by the end of it.
Yeah. So now you're in my kitchen.
Yeah. So you're going to be twitching.
A little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Yeah. Maybe once in a while.
That's okay.
So I wanted to mention also that Terry's here because our co-host for the past 6 years, Jennifer Boudreau, has decided to move on and progress and move up in her acting career and producing career, which is absolutely awesome. Yeah. So we wish Jennifer a ton of luck as she moves forth in that career, and she's been doing some great producing work, and also had I know she's been on Fargo and things like that. So her acting career is really growing. So we're going to have Jen on as a guest.
Awesome.
So we'll get her back on in the new year, so that should be fun. So what we're going to do, and this is kind of an audition for you, is we have decided we're going to audition for my new co-host.
Oh.
So we're going to hold auditions in the new year. So we'll put out dates for those auditions on our Facebook page, Arts Talk Facebook page, Welcome to Arts Talk, and social media, so you know when they are. And then you can contact us through our email, which is artstalkedmonton@gmail.com, and come in for an audition. Then we're going to knock it down to 3 or 4 finalists, and we're going to let our viewers decide who becomes my co-host.
That's fun.
So
dangerous.
You're starting already.
I am. I feel like this is really unfair for a first co-host. It's like, hey, let's go do it in a public place like the mall at Christmas time. Oh, and by the way, this is also your audition. No pressure, Terri.
It's perfect. It's kind of
totally
like me going into the kitchen, who's not a baker, and saying, hey, into the kitchen with Terri, and you're going to learn to bake and do everything with Terri.
I think next time I'll have to see if one of the judges can come or something, because I feel like that would be more fair.
You should, Judge, you're going to have a live audience in your kitchen.
That's right, yeah.
So they can make fun of me.
Just to even it out, yeah. I feel like I owe you that now.
For sure.
Yeah.
So we've got a great show coming up. We're actually also going to make this one longer show for Christmas. So rather than 2 episodes in December, we're doing one longer one. So we've got some great guests. We've got a couple of great segments. So coming on the show, we've got Francie Goodwyn-Davie, a local actress.
Nice.
And we've got Cliff Smith, who's a photographer and an actor.
Okay, great.
And of course, we have to have our Christmas Baking with Terri segment. We got to do some Christmas baking.
And I mean, it's fantastic.
I'm
biased by me, but
you have to see the snowflake cookies I made.
They were beautiful.
Granted, my decorating, might not have passed a judge's.
Just, my theory's always just been more sprinkles. You're fine.
Oh, good.
You're fine.
Smarties and sprinkles.
Exactly.
And we also have a segment coming up on Bedouin Beats. So just prior to us shooting this show, Bedouin had their end of fall session show, which was called the Best of Belly Dance Pageant Ever. And that happened this past Sunday at the Royal Alberta Museum. So we have some rehearsal footage, I believe, from that, which will be really, really good. And then the next big event for Bedouin is the Deep Freeze, which takes place on 118th Ave on January 13th and 14th. So Bedouin Beats will host a dance stage on both those days, and it's belly dance of all styles.
That sounds
so
fun.
You got to make sure you tune in for the segment on Bedouin for sure, because then in January you can go actually see them perform live, which would be really cool. I think
that would be very cool. I agree. I would love to see that.
So because we're extending the show, we got a lot happening, so I think we better get on with the show.
Deal.
All right, we'll be right back after this with Francie Goodwyn-Davie. And welcome back. And I would like to welcome to Arts Talk, Francie Goodwyn-Davie. How are you, Francie?
I'm fabulous. How are you guys?
Really
Doing
good.
Awesome.
Excellent.
It's great to have you on the show. Now, you're a local actress.
I am.
You sent me your resume, and it was huge. Like, I probably could have sat there for literally an hour trying to read every single role that you've done over the years. So what got you into acting?
I started when I was 5 years old. I was an angel in a Christmas play. My mom was a nurse at the Misericordia Hospital, and that was the first thing I ever did. So then I kept on from there.
Now, was it love instantaneously? First show and you were hooked? Or?
You know what? I was like, yes.
Yeah, this was
5 years old.
5 years old, and that was it for you.
Yeah.
This is where I want to be, in the spotlight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
And that was a few years ago. Just a few.
Just a few.
Just a few.
Now, you haven't gotten much taller.
No. Well, no, a little bit. I think I was there.
Neither did
Kind
I.
of grew.
I was going to say, really? Like you?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I feel like you shouldn't be throwing
You're not that
out.
much taller,
Yeah, no,
Terri.
I feel like,
Yeah, look at that. So you have performed like all over Edmonton area, Alberta. I noticed you did TV commercials, some television, lots of stage work. So what's kind of your favorite genre to work in?
Oh boy. Live theater, stage, I love. I really enjoy doing comedy, although I had a director several years ago say to me, you know, Francie, you got to get out of doing funny shows. You got to do something serious. And I just love to hear when people laugh. And I thought, I don't want to do that. And so I was really hesitant, but he kind of forced me into doing this show. And it was a one-woman show, and it was about 17 pages long, about an hour long. And I thought I would die. Just before I went on stage, I kept going backstage and I kept going, oh, he's going to be mad at me. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm not doing it. And then the lights went down and I went, I don't do it. And I went out and I heard people crying. And I was hooked, same as laughing. Because you get an emotion. You can feel the emotion from the audience and it does something to your heart.
Absolutely.
So.
And do you have sort of a favorite production you were a part of?
Oh boy.
I know it's probably hard with the history of your career, but...
Life Spirit, Madame Makati. Fabulous. I did a show for the Fringe a couple of years ago called Pieces. I played a woman with Alzheimer's.
Wow.
And that was... gives me goosebumps just thinking about that role.
Absolutely.
I played Yenta in Fiddler on the Roof.
Wow.
Loved that. Just so many variants. Yeah.
Hard to pick. Now, do you have a sort of bad memory horror story from any of your productions and things going sideways, or?
I went to Vic years ago and did the performing arts, and it was a quick change, and one of the actresses, just as I was going on stage, stepped on the back of my dress and ripped it right up the back.
Oh no.
And I didn't know what to do. So I stood there, and it was as I was going on, and I said, somebody get me a safety pin. And they pinned me up, and I went on and made sure that I didn't turn around.
The blocking changed a little bit.
Yeah.
For that show.
In character, though.
In character.
That's right. Yeah, fair.
So I've done both comedy and drama on stage, and I've always heard that comedy is much harder to do because what you might, as an actor, may think is funny, the audience might not find as funny. So how do you feel about that?
It is. I find it a lot harder to do, but it's a sense of timing, and you can hear your audience, and it's knowing whether to go with what they're giving you, or I learned it as being a wave.
Right.
And so you can hear the laughter, and then they stop, and that's when you go, and that's the timing that I learned.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you have any upcoming productions?
I'm doing a one-act play festival coming up, a show called For Whom the Southern Bell Tolls by Christopher Drang, and it's very funny.
And who's the festival with?
For Stage Struck, one act, and
nice.
Gerald Osborne's directing.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
And when is that, so far viewers know if they want to come see it?
I think it's the end of March, beginning of April.
Okay.
Look forward to that. That'd be
Great,
fantastic.
thanks.
Yeah.
So you're in rehearsals right now, I assume?
No, not quite.
Not quite.
No.
Coming up?
No, coming up.
Okay, coming up. Well, then I'm going to ask you one more question. Because it's that time of year, it's Christmas time. Any big Christmas traditions that you have with your family?
We have so many. We eat latkes on Christmas Eve because I'm a nice Jewish Catholic girl. So we do it all. We have a kosher pig angel on top of the tree, and then we do a big Christmas Day dinner, and we like to have a Boxing Day dinner for people that have no place to go.
I love that.
Sounds
I love
great.
that.
Well, if you want to see Francie, make sure you get out and see. I've seen her in some of her shows, and she's awesome. So make sure you get out to the One Act Festival and check it out, because again, and especially with Gerald Osborne directing as well, it should be an excellent show. Thanks so much, Francie, for being on the show.
Thanks.
And thanks for coming on Arts Talk and joining us on the Big Boat at West
Thank
Ed.
you. It's been fun. Great.
Yeah, nice meeting you.
Nice to
It's
meet
been
you.
great. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back. It's events time, Terri. because there's always so much that happens in this city and surrounding area. We like to talk about on Arts Talk what's coming up and what you should get out as our viewers to go see. So coming up, opening December 15th right through to December 30th is Fiddler on the Roof, which will take place at Festival Place in Sherwood Park. It's directed and choreographed by Shelley Tukey, and assistant director is Martin Galba. So if you've ever had a chance to go to Festival Place and see their Christmas show, they're always amazing. So make sure to get out and check Fiddler on the Roof. Tickets are available at Festival Place. I know that some of the shows are sold out already, so if you want to get tickets, I would suggest you go get them soon. Also opening up December 8th, actually, right through to December 31st, so it runs the whole month, is Candy Cane Lane. And that's over on 148th Street. It runs between 92nd and 100th Avenue. And it's basically, why go to the North Pole when you've got Candy Cane Lane right here in Edmonton? So a whole bunch of houses put up some really cool decorations. I also believe they have boxes out for the Edmonton Food Bank at that. So I think that's a really good thing too. So go donate to the food bank. I think they have sleigh rides. Good event to go out and take the family to and go for a nice walk out in the evening in the snow and look at all the Christmas lights. What have you got, Terry?
Well, if you're looking for more Christmas family fun, on December 9th and 10th at a Prairie Christmas at Prairie Gardens and Adventure Farm in Bon Accord, Alberta. You can go and decorate cookies, cuddle with cute creatures at the petting zoo, roast marshmallows over a bonfire, get lost in the corn maze, just have a bunch of holiday fun. And again, that's at Prairie Gardens and Adventure Farm. If
Nice.
you're looking for more information, you can call them at 780-921-2272.
Cool.
And if you want to celebrate the season, perfect way to do that is at the Alberta Legislature. They have Celebrate the Season running December 7th through to December 23rd. They do this every year down at Alberta Legislature.
Wow.
They light it up literally to celebrate the season. So it's absolutely beautiful. You can walk around, you can be
Nice.
there with family, it'd be a great date opportunity. But basically they have a giant Christmas tree. It has over 5,000 lights of its own.
Wow.
I feel like just that, it's
For
worth
sure.
going to see. So again, it's running December 7th through to the 23rd down at the Alberta Legislature.
Awesome. Well, I've got a couple more as well. So if you've ever heard of the McDades, local band here in Edmonton, every year at Christmas, they go and they perform at the John Walter Museum, and it's an absolute awesome show because it's really intimate. So they're in the small John Walter Museum house. It's usually candlelit. They play Christmas music. It's the family of McDades getting together. They usually have Christmas cookies and some snacks in between intermission, between their sets. So that runs December 7th to December 23rd. So contact the John Walter Museum for getting tickets for that event. And again, I know it's very, very popular. So if you want to go to it and spend a nice Christmas evening out with some live music, great event to get to. Also, and I hope I pronounced this correctly, Zoominescence, a festival of light, which is at the Edmonton Zoo. That starts basically every weekend in December, also right to December 31st. So you don't want to miss that. They put lighting designs all throughout the zoo. So you can go through the zoo and see all these really cool lighting decorations that are done up for Christmas. I don't know how it affects the animals. I haven't been, but they do all these great lighting. And that's actually done by a local lighting designer, Roy Jackson, from Roy Jackson Design here in the city. That runs 5 to 9 every weekend, again, till December 31st.
That sounds phenomenal.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for even more ways to celebrate the Christmas spirit, you could go and see Shumka's Nutcracker, Clara's Dream,
Great show, I've seen it.
down at the Jubilee Auditorium, December 29th and 30th. You can get your tickets through Ticketmaster. And basically, it's a great time. And I think, for me, Nutcracker is one of the best shows to see at the holiday season. So I would totally recommend it. Again, Jubilee Auditorium, December 29th and 30th. Get your tickets through Ticketmaster. Another fun activity is a lightly classical Christmas, and that's at Winspear Center.
Nice.
Basically, you can treat yourself to a charming and fun romp through all your family favorites from the holiday season, conducted by Robert Bernhardt and performed by the Edmonton Symphony Orchestra, which I've been to about 4 of their shows. Highly recommend it. They do such a professional, fantastic job. Tickets are available at the Winspear Center. Again, that performance is on December 21st at 8 p.m. You can also call 1-800-563-5081 for more information or tickets.
Awesome. And again, don't forget Deep Freeze in January, 13th, 14th. Bedouin Beats has 2 performing stages. Don't miss that. That's our events brought to you by Bottom Line Productions. We'll be right back after this. And welcome to Arts Talk. I'd like to welcome to the show Cliff Smith. How are you, Cliff?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Cliff, you're a local photographer. So tell us a little bit about, I understand your company has a real interesting name.
Well, it's actually more interesting because it's not my name.
Okay.
My name is Cliff, and it's Cliff Smith, which is probably the most vanilla name you'll ever get for a brown guy, number one. And number two, it's pretty boring, Cliff Smith Photography. It's probably a lot of names like that around the globe.
Could be.
So I started looking for a name, and it was a massive task, actually. And I come up with Fluent Light, mainly because photography, light is a language. And just like we're all trying to move towards fluency in our language, the language of light is something that we photographers work toward fluency in. And so I thought that was quite apropos as a name, as opposed to
awesome,
just
man.
Cliff Smith.
Yeah.
So Fluent Light, we're always working towards it.
That's awesome. So what got you into photography?
Actually, believe it or not, I used to dabble in photography many, many years ago, and got away from it, work and whatnot. And in 2007, my wife bought me a little tiny point and shoot digital. So that was the first time I had access to a digital camera, and I was so fascinated with it.
Yeah.
I went out and took a billion pictures, and then 3 months later I upgraded, and then another 3 months later I upgraded again. To her utter dismay, all of a sudden now,
All this equipment started showing up at the
all the
house.
equipment started showing up, and I went from being a film photographer when I was young to a digital photographer, boom, just like that.
Wow.
And it was unbelievably fascinating. And actually, a brief thing about that as well, I shot a lot of landscape, and then I pointed my camera at a person for the first time, really, other than family. And when I went home and I was editing stuff, the landscape was wonderful. But when I got to the person, I started editing it, and I felt a lot of kind of extra little juice, And I realized at that point that I was a people photographer, or the portrait photographer.
Nice.
That's how it came about. So
That's really neat.
Yeah.
I love that.
it's kind of cool, actually.
So, as you just mentioned, you became a portrait photographer. So, do you still do both? Are you going out and just picking people to do photos of, or do people hire you to do photos?
Actually, a couple of things. I really like photographing strangers.
Yeah.
So I've done a lot of that in my time. But then as I moved towards more for finance, the strangers were for fun, and of course for finance, I started shooting portrait sessions and lifestyle sessions and some weddings. And so a little bit of everything, but all around focusing around people.
Nice.
Very little landscape, though I really should do it. This is a beautiful country. We should be doing more
Absolutely.
landscape. So
Beautiful nature here.
So, I know you're also an actor.
I am.
But before we get into that, let's just tell our viewers quickly, in regards to the photography side, if they wanted you to come out and do some work for them, how do they get a hold of you?
Actually, you can get a hold of me via Facebook on Fluent Light. Just if you go to Facebook and search Fluent Light, I'm the first person that comes up. Fluentlight.com. My website got hacked really bad. I took it down.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, terribly. But it'll be back up by January of 2018.
Okay.
So fluentlight.com will reach me. And remember the Cliff Smith vanilla name?
Yes.
If you type in Cliff Smith and Fluent Light, you're bound to get to my
Can't get it
photography.
wrong.
So,
Nice.
but don't type in just Cliff Smith. You'll never get it.
Okay. There's
Okay,
too
so
many.
let's jump over to the other thing that you like to do, and that's as an actor. So tell us a little bit about that and what got you into acting.
I love acting. I really do. When I was young, I did a bunch of drama in school and whatnot. And there again, life got in the way. And then Leduc Drama Society all of a sudden was doing an audition. I went, auditioned, got the part, instantly hooked.
Wow.
Again. So, and then I got a part with a local director named Ben Baptism.
Yeah, know Ben well.
Did a little 30-minute movie with him back in 2007 or something. That was the first time I was ever on film. And it was the most fascinating thing. I was so enthralled with it.
Nice.
With the process, with the acting and everything else. And then, and so I've just kind of continued with a little bit of theater, a couple of movies I've been in.
Right.
And just kind of doing the best I can to get as many experiences as I can get.
So we have kind of partnered up. We're
That's
working
right.
on a show together.
That's right. If you folks don't know, these people are putting me through a nightmare.
Good one. Good one. That's the name of the show. It's called Nightmare. So it's for the 2018 Fringe.
That's right.
So are you excited about that?
I am so looking forward to this show. You guys, it's going to be fantastic. We got everything. We have all of the makings of a fantastic show. First of all, they're going to torture me and put me through a nightmare. And secondly, they're going to do it with belly dancers and music and lighting. What more could an actor possibly ask for?
That's right. Completely original show.
And a completely original from the ground up show that we're creating as we go. And I might even get a nap in on stage.
Wow.
What more could you ask for?
Perfect.
So, but you're not going to dance in the show.
I'm not. Thank God, I'm not going to dance in this show. Everybody will appreciate that if I don't dance and I don't sing.
Okay, so anything upcoming really quick before we wrap up here, Cliff? That's other than the show, photography wise.
Actually, I'm doing a one-act festival with the Leduc Drama Society. It's the Yellowhead, Alberta Yellowhead one-act festival, and we're doing a play in there called The Blooming of Ivy. It's a beautiful, beautiful little one-act play, and it's just two actors, myself and another woman named Suzanne, and we're hoping to bring that to the stage in March. In March, yeah. So we're underway currently with rehearsals already, and that's being sponsored by the Leduc Drama Society. So.
Awesome. So our viewers can just go to the Leduc Drama Society website and check it out?
Absolutely. And of course, as time goes by, we'll be posting more on social media and whatnot. So.
Awesome. Well, Cliff, I want to thank you so much for being on Arts Talk and joining us here on the big Santa Maria at West Edmonton Mall.
I even dressed up for you,
Bill. You look awesome, Cliff.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this.
Take care.
Well, here we go again. We're back with our second segment on Arts Talk with Terri, Baking with Terri. How are you, Terri?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. So it's Christmas season. We've got a lot of stuff here. What are we going to make today?
Yeah, well, we'll see how far we get in our time, but I'm thinking we're going to make a couple cookies and some chocolate-covered caramels.
Wow, that sounds... The crew will like that.
I hope so. Well, I think we're going to start out with one of my favorites, which is just a shortbread. Really simple, not that many ingredients, 5 ingredients. So we've got our icing sugar, a cup of it, and a cup of butter. And these are what we start off with. So if I was you, I'd take this 1 cup of butter and the icing sugar and we'll mix it. Then we've got our 2 tablespoons of vanilla just to give it a little flavor.
Okay.
Flour, because that makes our cookie a cookie, and that's about 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. And then we've just got a cup of granulated sugar.
Awesome.
That's it. So good luck.
I'm just thinking about that right now.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this. I see a bowl.
Perfect. So you're going to want to start by getting your butter softened a little bit because the icing sugar can be messy if you're not careful.
All right. So you want me to mush this up with this?
I would a little bit carefully. Just get it.
Now, is there a nice slow speed on here?
Yeah, see? Perfect. Yeah.
And hold on to
Always
the
hold the bowl.
Hold on to the bowl. You tuck it. Now,
I feel like increase the speed because right now it's just a mess on your beater. There. See there? Now you're getting it.
Now, look at that.
Look at that.
Is that
perfect?
Is that good?
Yep. Now you just add don't lose all that butter, we'll mix it in here, but add your 1 cup.
1 cup of flour.
No, that's icing sugar.
I was testing her.
No,
I wanted
exactly.
to make sure. So our viewers knew that this was icing sugar.
That's fair. You just make those two a nice, gentle mixture without it going everywhere and we're good.
This is where it gets to be, you have to be super gentle, which is the term that we coined.
That's true.
Last episode. Whoa.
Just take a step back as soon as it starts.
And the crew better take a step back.
No, so far so good. It's good.
All right, how's that looking?
It's getting there.
What's it supposed to look like?
You want it well combined into crumbs. So you don't want to be able to see chunks of icing sugar still.
I'm just going to show this to the audience really quick. So that's kind of where it's at
close.
Right now. Kind of crumbly. So do I keep going or is...
Now we can add our vanilla in because it's all happy. Yep.
Because it's all happy?
Yep.
Are you happy? Let's see.
See, and it told you yes, right?
It did. Baking is so interactive.
And then I'd say add about half your flour.
Half of the flour.
So the about half again. I know you like that.
Yeah, just half.
Yeah.
How's that looking, Terri? I know I'm blocking the
you're
camera
not even
here.
close to half. There. You can add the rest of the flour now.
Oh, good. I was wondering when that might happen.
There.
So again,
we're almost done.
And this looks like, again, very easy recipe for anybody to make.
Absolutely, super.
So our viewers can do this.
Now what I would normally do is I would get right in there and just make it all come together with my hands.
Okay. Should I do that?
Yep. And I will take this out of the way.
Excellent. Okay. The fun part of baking, you get to get your hands in there and get messy. Where's our crew? Eric behind the camera. You know, Eric, I think we should have smell-o-vision or something so that our viewers could actually smell this. I like the smell of it. How's that coming along?
It's good. And what I would do too, I would get right in here, scrape the edge of that bowl. You're like, take over, Terri. That's really what you meant, isn't it?
See how that works? Because I can tell. You know, Terri takes pride in her baking, which is awesome. It's great. And when she got somebody, you know, she's like...
When I started, yeah, over your shoulder. I'm just going to pull a little flour down. Spread that around so we can roll it out.
So as we get ready to roll this, Terri, so what other kind of Christmas traditions do you have baking-wise? Like, is there certain things you make every year? Obviously, like shortbread.
Shortbread, my ginger cookies. I do the chocolate-covered caramels. I always do my grandma's fudge. I always make candied, different, like assorted nuts. And cinnamon buns are every Christmas morning. We start with that. Because I can proof them overnight, and then we just toss them in the morning, and they're sort of ready right as you're waking up with your coffee and stockings or whatever's going on.
Now, is there a certain shape it has to be?
I like to make a little circle before I put it down.
Oh, okay. Which is
that
part of the,
totally ruined the whole thing.
of the geometry of cooking. You don't waste, Terri.
I'm sorry, that's true, but you've got so much flour added in there. I feel like I might just botched it.
All right. So very gentle.
Gently, slowly.
I wanted to be aggressive because I wasn't aggressive last time.
Be nice with the cookies.
How's that?
That's nice.
Is
Yep.
that-
Take your time. Maybe give a flip and go. Yep. Work it out even.
Is that a proper pace?
Yep. That's good.
Perfect.
Let's say that's pretty good.
That is looking good.
And you can.
And how many cookies do you usually make at one time, Terri?
Usually if I'm doing like a baking day for the holidays, I kind of aim for 3 to 4 batches in a day. 3 to 4 different kinds.
Oh no, that one didn't come out either. I won't play with it right now. We'll do this. See if we can get it right on the edge.
So 11 it is.
11 it is. Uh-oh. All right.
We could move on to caramels while we wait for this.
Sure. Let's move on to
Because all we're
caramels.
doing is baking them, and then we're going to have to let them cool before you can decorate them anyway.
Okay, let's move on to caramels.
So let's move on.
So what do we need to do with the butter?
So we want half a cup.
Okay, so we need to cut that.
Yep.
I am going to cut the butter.
Here's your knife. So half a cup of butter. Perfect.
Okay.
And this is actually a recipe that definitely I would encourage if you're doing it at home, have everything ready to go. Because this is one of those ones that it's really easy to do. The only hard part is it's really picky on the temperature.
Right.
So if you miss it by a degree, it's not
You're
good.
in trouble.
It's not good. Sugar is not forgiving.
So what else do we have that goes into caramel? Tell us what we
Okay,
got
so
here.
what else we're going to have is we will add a teaspoon of vanilla to it.
Okay.
I'm just going to set that there for now because we're going to add it all to our cream mixture,
Okay.
which I'm going to grab right now because it's half a cup of butter and half a cup of cream. Me personally, I look for this whipping cream. See how it's 36%? So regular whipping cream is 33%. And I find for really good rich caramel, anything over 35
It's a little heavier.
Yeah, is better. That's just and then we need corn syrup,
Okay.
sugar.
Oh, sugar, of
Because
course.
that's what we're turning into the caramel. And then some water.
Okay.
And melt that down in the microwave if you want.
And how long do you put it in for?
Like 30 seconds. I think your butter is ready.
Sounds like it.
Don't hit me with
I'll
that.
try not to. Yes, definitely melted.
Perfect. So then you should have your half a cup.
Yes, I do.
Now you want to fill it up to the cup by adding half a cup of your cream, your heavy cream.
So make it a full cup.
Yeah.
So if you've never made caramel or caramel, maybe some of our viewers can write in and tell us what the proper pronunciation is supposed to be.
I'm pretty sure not mine. Pretty sure yours is right.
All right. We are at 1 cup.
Perfect. Now you can take your 1 teaspoon of vanilla and add it to that whole mixture.
All right. If I can find my measuring spoons, 1 teaspoon. All right. There is our vanilla.
So I like to use a really big pot because once you get this to temperature and you add that, it really, really boils up. And so you can think the pot is big enough, but then you have a mess everywhere. And possibly burn yourself, and that's not fun.
That is not good. We want to do safe baking.
Safe baking.
It was there.
I
So
was wondering why.
we have 1 cup of sugar.
That's funny, yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. 1/3 cup of water goes in there.
1/3 cup of water
Into here.
into there.
No, it's ready for you.
Oh, sir. Let's see. That's why she's here. I'm just the host. 1/3 cup of water.
And then a 1/3 cup of light corn syrup.
And again, if you remember. Now, would you class this, if you were kind of classing recipes from, say, easy to hard, would this be kind of an intermediate recipe for caramel, or is it still a really simple? I know temperature is important.
Other than the temperature, if you have a good thermometer, I feel like it's a really doable recipe. Okay. So what you want to do is just get your sugar moist, and then what I do is I give it a little wrap around.
That's a good idea.
With the brush to get any little crystals off of water.
All right.
Ready?
So we're over to the stove.
Around medium, depending, you got to know your oven a little bit, but it's better to start out lower and then turn it up than to burn your sugar.
Okay.
I know mine likes it right about there.
And we just let it sit.
We just let it do its thing.
Until it starts to come to a bubble.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to get this fun thermometer. I like this one. It has the probe option or the scan. Sorry. Once this comes to 325, we're going to start adding the cream mixture in increments.
Okay.
Once it's getting to that caramel candy stage that it's thickening up, the bubbles sort of look slower and glossy. There, you can tell there's a thickness coming when you watch how it cooks.
What's happening here?
I'd say grab our cream. Grab our cream. Go. Be careful. A little more than that. A little more. Come on. You gotta go. Don't stir.
Oh, okay. This is getting nerve-wracking. There's too much tension.
Let it bubble. Once the bubbling stops, I should have told you this. Then you give it a stir.
Okay.
Now you add the next batch. Let it bubble up. Give it a stir. Maybe one spot it looks like a bit on this, but we did pretty good, I think. I think for a first time, that was pretty awesome. Yeah.
So it's gone to a nice brown, kind of caramely color right now.
And so you can see how we were up at about 325, and it's already dropped back down to 188.
Right.
Right? So we're going to go up to 240, and then
Well, that's it.
we'll get some oven mitts, and we'll pour it into our prepared pan, and then it just has to set up for about 3.5 hours.
Oh, we're 2 degrees away.
Get the mitts on.
Get the mitts on.
It's almost go time.
We're ready. Mitts are on. We're ready for the move. Now, if you're doing this with one person, there's 2 of us doing this. Like, you're gonna have to rush and
I'll
put
be
the mitts on
honest.
yourself.
It's easier by yourself because you get the whole timing down and just sort of go with it. So here's your pan. Right in there.
Right in here. It's like lava. It's like molten lava.
That's why I say it's a really painful burn.
That's why I'm standing back.
Doesn't it smell nice though?
It smells great.
So we've got 2 minutes left on our cookies. So, like I said, this has to sit for about 3.5, 4 hours.
Okay.
So I'll get it out of our way, and we have one that's been sitting.
The magic of television.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
So out it comes.
So we're now 4 hours later. And look at this.
Clearly I didn't do a very nice job pouring it in.
Look at this beautiful caramel.
So we'll trim that off.
Ooh, that's
and then we'll slice it. So I'm going to let you give this a little trim to make it all clean and pretty.
Cutting on. Is that too big?
I feel like that's a fair serving. Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah.
Okay, now gentle cut.
Gentle cut.
All right, both parts are chopped. Okay.
There. So basically you're putting 5 ounces in here.
Okay.
And you're leaving the 1 ounce in here.
Okay.
We're going to cook this over our pretend double boiler, which is just a pot with some water in the bottom.
Yes, there we go.
You want to stop when it hits 90, no higher. Realistically, what you're looking for, if you didn't have a thermometer for this, is once it's all melted, but you can just see the odd little shape still, that's time to pull it off.
So 90 degrees.
90 degrees, roughly. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, grab a fork.
Bring on the dipping.
Well,
There's
I've
a
never
big
told you
fork
where
on
my
your wall right there.
perfect one. That's the perfect one. And get a little bit like that.
Oh, okay.
And then go into the bowl. Okay.
Now when it falls off.
Let's see if I can get it.
Now I have to blame you for that one because I did not put it on the fork.
I see that.
Ooh, look at that. It's nice and shiny.
I don't know what that is. No, I would usually have a second fork.
Shake.
So, we're going to give these about 15 minutes to set up a little bit, and
Sure.
then we have this mint sugar actually.
Oh, nice. But this does smell really good.
I love mint. You can't go wrong with mint, right? Hi. You may have to stir it once or twice.
Look at that. We'll move some things here.
Yeah,
so
and we'll
our
pretend these
viewers
are beautifully dipped.
Our viewers can have a look at what we've got here.
I just like the contrast. I think it's nice sometimes.
So am I sprinkling this on? Or
Yeah, just delicate, pretty.
delicate?
Not so delicate that it's like 1 grain at a time.
As soon as you said that, everybody started laughing. Like I can't. All right. No.
Little, you don't want like Thompson. You just want little. All right, ready? Remember
ready.
how to make icing from Danish bread? It's not
icing
exactly
sugar.
the same, but it's pretty much the same stuff.
Icing sugar.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Now, how much are we using? A cup.
Yeah. Cup it is.
Do you prefer to pour or dip?
I'm a scooper.
A scooper. That's what I was trying to think of. I want to make sure I get all the technical terms correct. Make sure you smooth it out.
And make sure it's an actual cup.
All right.
Add a teaspoon.
Of vanilla.
Yes. Hey, look at you. You do remember. About 2 tablespoons of some milk or some cream. I like the cream better, but you know,
like
whatever.
2 tablespoons?
About that to start.
Okay. That could be just about ready for piping.
Sorry.
I'm all done.
Wow. I thought I was going to come back and all the cookies would be decorated. That looks pretty good, right?
Is that good for piping?
I think so.
We're back. Well, Terri, that's your first co-hosting duty. That brings us to the end of our Arts Talk Christmas show here on the Santa Maria at West Edmonton Mall. I want to thank West Edmonton Mall for allowing Arts Talk Online to come out here and shoot on the boat again 6 years later.
Absolutely.
It's been fantastic. And Terri, how was it? How was your first time co-hosting?
I really don't know what I said, but I want to say that I feel like that was great. And
I think
mean,
you
I
did
had
awesome.
fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if I did okay, but it was a good time.
I think you did awesome. Like, obviously, you'll have to watch it. It's not like when we do our baking segment, we actually have,
True.
a plate of baking we can put out that here's what we actually did.
That's true.
But
you could still critique me if you want to.
I think you did fantastic.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Either you're a little taller than me, but we'll let that go. I tried to stand on my tippy toes, but I was warned by my crew that I might fall over if I did that.
That's true. Could have made for some good behind-the-scenes footage, though.
Outtakes.
That's it.
We had a couple great guests. Cliff Smith, photographer, actor,
That's
and
right.
Francie Goodwyn-Davie, again, both awesome actors, actresses.
And really great people.
Yes.
Great energy about them. They were a lot of fun.
That was fun. And of course, another great baking segment.
Can't leave that out.
We made the Christmas
Can't forget
cookies
that we did, and the caramels.
and the caramels. That's
'Cause that
right.
was hard.
Caramel
Sorry,
or caramel?
caramel?
Caramel or caramel? Let's clear that up really
I'm going to
quick.
just not say it. The chocolate-covered things that we made.
Those chocolate covered
great.
things, those are really good.
Those are great.
And another great segment with Bedouin Beats. Those girls are awesome. And just as we talked a little bit about with Cliff Smith in regards to Nightmare, our original Fringe production, well, Bedouin Beats is our partner, and 6 of the girls are the dancers in the show. So
I
that's
feel like
exciting.
that would be fun. Do they offer lessons?
Oh,
for
they
it?
sure do. You can,
I've always wanted to try that. I don't know if I could do it.
contact
but I feel-
Bedouin, and they have, I think they even have trial lessons.
Oh,
And you
so
could
if like
talk-
it went horribly wrong, then you're not on the hook.
You don't feel, it gives you a feel for it. If you really like it, you can stay. If you,
Cool.
it's
that'd
kind of
be
like
fun.
co-hosting. This is like
That's
your,
right.
your audition.
That's right. So it's like right now, should I be like, vote for Terri? Because you said the viewers are voting it.
You just did.
I actually did.
You just did to the viewers.
Yeah, okay.
All right, everybody. Have a great Christmas and Happy New Year, because we'll see you back in 2018 with Arts Talk. I'm Bill Roberts.
I'm Terri. Take
See ya.
care.
Merry Christmas, everybody.